Step back in time and relive the golden era of daytime drama. The Bold and the Beautiful has captivated audiences for decades with its gripping storylines and unforgettable characters. But what happened to the stars who brought this iconic soap to life? From their breakout roles in 1987 to where they are now in 2025, get ready for a surprising, emotional, and inspiring journey through time. Some have aged like fine wine, others have taken unexpected paths, and a few might just leave you speechless. Whether you're a longtime fan or just curious about Hollywood's past and present, this is a transformation you don't want to miss. Katherine Kelly Lang, who portrayed the iconic Brooke Logan in The Bold and the Beautiful, was 26 when she stepped into the role of the beautiful, emotionally complex woman who would go on to become one of the most controversial characters in soap opera history. Lang captivated audiences with Brooke's endless romantic entanglements and fierce ambition. In her personal life, Lang's reality mirrored the tumultuous love stories she acted out. She married film director Scott Snyder in 1989, and they had 2 sons together, Jeremy and Julian, but the marriage ended in divorce in 1995 due to irreconcilable differences and infidelity rumors. A second marriage to Alex Dandria lasted longer but was marred by emotional distance and financial strain, ending in 2012. Lang had a daughter, Zoe, from this marriage. She battled depression privately for years, especially after a failed investment drained her savings in the early 2000s. Her relationship with her children became strained as she coped with mounting career disappointments and typecasting. Despite attempts to branch out, she remained mostly tied to Brooke Logan, a role that both defined and confined her. Now 63, Lang lives a reclusive life in a modest Malibu property. Her current net worth is estimated at around $750,000, a sharp contrast to the fortune she once held. She rarely makes public appearances, preferring solitude and reflection over fame. Ron Moss, who portrayed the suave Ridge Forrester, was 35 when he first brought the romantic lead to life in The Bold and the Beautiful. With Ridge's chiseled looks, passionate affairs, and artistic temperament, Moss became a daytime television heartthrob. However, his real life bore darker undertones. Moss initially married actress Sherry Shattuck in 1990, and they had 2 daughters, Creason and Kaye. The marriage crumbled in 2002 under the weight of public scrutiny and Moss's infidelity, followed by a string of failed relationships. His second wife, Devin DeVasquez, brought temporary stability, but the couple endured years of financial hardship after Moss left the show in 2012, hoping to relaunch his music career with little success. Moss suffered a car accident in 2014 that left him with chronic pain, diminishing his public appearances. Estranged from his daughters and plagued by lawsuits over unpaid taxes, Moss now lives in semi-seclusion in Italy, where he occasionally performs at small venues. At 73, he is reportedly worth under $500,000, a humbling figure for a man who once symbolized opulence. He continues to battle depression and health issues, rarely interacting with former colleagues or fans. John McCook, who played the patriarch Eric Forrester, was 43 when he took on the role of the charming and commanding fashion mogul. His character exuded power and grace, but McCook's personal life often veered into painful territory. A father of 4, including actress Molly McCook, he was married 3 times. His first 2 marriages ended in acrimony, with custody battles and financial disputes that dragged on for years. His third marriage to former actress Laurette Spang brought stability, but their relationship was marked by long periods of separation due to McCook's grueling shooting schedule and emotional withdrawal following the death of his youngest son from his first marriage, who died in 1998 of a drug overdose. McCook rarely discussed this tragedy publicly, but those close to him said it left deep emotional scars. Professionally, he became increasingly typecast as Eric, and his other acting efforts largely failed to gain traction. Now 80, McCook still appears sporadically on the show, more out of necessity than passion. He suffers from memory issues and arthritis, and his estimated net worth is around $1 million. He spends his days quietly in his Los Angeles home, relying on caregivers and seldom leaving the house. Susan Flannery, who brought gravitas and steely intensity to the role of Stephanie Forrester, was 48 when she joined The Bold and the Beautiful. Her portrayal of the fierce matriarch battling personal and familial demons earned her critical acclaim and numerous awards. Off-screen, however, Flannery led a life filled with solitude and hidden pain. She never married and adopted a daughter, Blaze, whom she raised largely alone. Flannery was known for being intensely private, rarely seen at Hollywood events, and she struggled with chronic illness, including fibromyalgia, for decades. She faced professional ostracism due to her vocal criticisms of the soap industry's treatment of older women. After leaving the show in 2012, she was diagnosed with lung cancer, which ultimately led to her death in 2016 at the age of 77. In her final years, she lived in Santa Barbara, largely confined to her home. Her daughter was often away, and friends described her final days as lonely. Flannery's estate was estimated at $2.3 million, but much of it was used for medical expenses and legal disputes over royalties. Despite her tragic decline, she is remembered as a commanding force in television, respected and feared in equal measure. Hunter Tylo, who portrayed the beautiful yet emotionally tormented Dr. Taylor Hayes, joined The Bold and the Beautiful in 1990 at the age of 28. Her performance as a psychologist entangled in a love triangle with Ridge and Brooke earned her fame, but her real life was filled with unimaginable sorrow. Tylo was married 3 times, including a troubled marriage to actor Michael Tylo, with whom she had 4 children, Michael Jr., Isabella, Katia, and Christopher. Their son Michael Jr. tragically drowned in 2007 at age 19, a loss that shattered her. Her daughter Katia was diagnosed with a rare form of eye cancer as a baby, leading to a long and expensive medical battle that eventually resulted in the removal of her eye. Tylo converted to Christianity during these difficult years, seeking solace in faith, but her mental health deteriorated. After being fired from Melrose Place for being pregnant, she won a lawsuit but never regained her earlier momentum. Her third marriage to Jerson Archila ended in allegations of abuse and manipulation. Now 62, Tylo lives a quiet life in Nevada, largely withdrawn from acting. Her current net worth is estimated at $300,000. She continues to grieve her son and lives modestly, far from the glamour that once defined her public image. Jacqueline McInnes Wood, who portrayed Steffi Forrester in The Bold and the Beautiful, was just 21 years old when she first brought the ambitious and emotionally conflicted heiress to life. Steffi was known for her passionate love affairs, corporate ambition, and ongoing rivalry with Hope Logan. While Wood earned accolades for her performance, her real life took a darker turn after the spotlight dimmed. She married a Canadian music producer in 2014, and they had 3 sons, Phoenix, River, and Lyric. However, their marriage was plagued by infidelity rumors and prolonged separations, ultimately ending in a bitter divorce in 2022. Wood struggled with postpartum depression and anxiety, withdrawing from the industry for several years. Financially, she faced devastating losses after investing in a failed vegan skincare company, losing over $1.2 million. Her relationship with her parents fractured over a family inheritance dispute, and she lost custody of her youngest child after a DUI incident in 2023. Now 37, Wood lives in a modest rental home in British Columbia, isolated from the public eye. Her net worth, once estimated at $4 million, has dwindled to less than $250,000. Despite it all, she occasionally mentors young actors online, clinging to her legacy as Steffi Forrester while trying to rebuild a quiet, sober life. Scott Clifton, who played Liam Spencer, a man torn between love and loyalty, often dubbed the Waffler for his indecisiveness, was 25 when he joined The Bold and the Beautiful in 2010. Clifton's character captivated viewers with endless romantic entanglements, particularly with Steffi and Hope. However, his own romantic life was anything but ideal. He married actress Nicole Lampton in 2012, and they had one daughter, Ellie Rose, in 2015. The marriage, plagued by constant jealousy and Clifton's battle with depression, ended in 2019 after a publicized cheating scandal. Following the divorce, Clifton spiraled into debt due to gambling and poor real estate investments. He attempted a music career, but it never took off, and he was forced to file for bankruptcy in 2021. Alienated from both fans and friends, he moved into a one-bedroom apartment in Burbank and began working odd jobs to make ends meet. Now 40, he lives alone and has limited visitation with his daughter. Once worth over $3 million, his assets are now estimated at under $100,000. Despite it all, he occasionally posts poetry and acoustic guitar covers online, yearning for a return to purpose that seems forever out of reach. Torsten K., who portrayed the complex and brooding Ridge Forrester from 2012 onward, was 46 when he took over the iconic role. K's Ridge brought a mix of intellectual depth and internal torment to the character, but the actor himself struggled with a sense of personal disconnection. Married to actress Susan Haskell since the early 2000s, the couple had 2 daughters, McKenna and Marlo. Despite public appearances suggesting stability, their relationship suffered in silence due to K's recurring alcohol problems and prolonged periods of emotional withdrawal. After a near-fatal car crash in 2018 while driving under the influence, K underwent rehabilitation but never fully returned to acting. Professionally, he faced a long drought after leaving B&B, taking on small theater roles to little acclaim. By 2022, he and Susan had quietly separated. Financially, his savings were depleted by medical bills and a failed investment in a Playhouse Theater in upstate New York. Now 59, he lives in a small cabin near Lake Placid, surviving off residual checks and disability payments. Once valued at $2.5 million, his estate now stands around $300,000. Though estranged from his children, he remains reflective, scribbling unfinished plays and memoirs that no publisher has yet picked up. Don Diamont, who embodied the ruthless yet charismatic Bill Spencer Jr., joined the cast in 2009 and became an instant fan favorite for his portrayal of a manipulative tycoon with a complicated moral compass. Diamant's real life, however, was filled with personal tragedies that mirrored his character's turbulent relationships. After the death of his brother in 2007, Diamant adopted his nephew while raising 6 children from 2 marriages. His second marriage to designer Cindy Amble, though celebrated publicly, was often strained by grief, financial pressures, and a grueling work schedule. They separated quietly in 2021, though never officially divorced. One of his sons, Luke, battled opioid addiction and was in and out of rehab for years, putting enormous stress on the family. Diamant's attempt to launch a fashion line in 2018 failed, resulting in a lawsuit and a $1.7 million loss. He suffered a minor stroke in 2023, prompting his early retirement. Now 62, he resides in a gated community in Calabasas, partially paralyzed on his right side and dependent on a full-time caregiver. Once worth $4 million, his current net worth is estimated at just $400,000. He rarely appears in public and has become somewhat of a recluse, reportedly writing a memoir about fatherhood, fame, and regret. Heather Tom, known for her poignant portrayal of Katie Logan, a woman of quiet strength and resilience despite multiple heart surgeries and romantic betrayals, was 32 when she rejoined the cast in 2007. Her performance earned her several Daytime Emmy Awards, but real life offered little reward. Married to musician James Aker, they welcomed a son, Zane, in 2012. However, Heather's obsession with perfection and Aker's long absences on tour slowly eroded the marriage. They divorced in 2018 after years of counseling attempts. Tom also suffered from undiagnosed bipolar disorder, which led to erratic behavior and strained relationships with coworkers. After leaving B&B in 2020 to focus on directing, she faced rejection in the male-dominated industry. In 2022, she was hospitalized following a nervous breakdown, and her custody of Zane was temporarily revoked. She now lives in a shared residence for women in recovery in Pasadena. Her net worth, once exceeding $2 million, has declined to under $150,000 after legal fees and unpaid taxes. At 49, she remains hopeful, volunteering at a local theater and mentoring aspiring actresses while quietly battling for stability and peace. Darlene Conley, who portrayed the flamboyant and unapologetically bold Sally Spectra on The Bold and the Beautiful, was 54 years old when she brought the red-headed fashion mogul to life in 1988. Her portrayal of Sally, an over-the-top yet deeply loyal businesswoman, made her a fan favorite and cemented her legacy in daytime television. Despite her on-screen success, Conley's off-screen life was riddled with personal heartache. She was married only once, to theatrical director Sam Garrison, a union that lasted just 4 years and ended in a quiet divorce. They had one son, Daniel Garrison, whom she raised largely as a single mother. Her relationship with her son grew strained over the years due to her demanding work schedule and ongoing health issues. Darlene struggled with loneliness and bouts of depression, especially after being typecast, which limited her acting roles post-Bold and the Beautiful. In her final years, she lived in semi-seclusion in Los Angeles, battling stomach cancer and quietly dealing with financial stress from medical bills and waning royalties. She passed away on January 14, 2007, at the age of 72. Her estate was modest, with a value estimated at $250,000, mostly tied up in her small home and residuals from past roles. Windsor Harmon, who played Thorne Forrester, the often overlooked and emotionally burdened Forrester brother, was 33 when he joined The Bold and the Beautiful in 1996. His character struggled in the shadows of his more celebrated siblings, and in a tragic twist, Harmon's personal life mirrored that emotional neglect. Despite his striking good looks and initial soap fame, Harmon's career stalled after leaving the show. He tried to pivot into film but found little success, and turned to low-budget projects that did little to revive his stardom. Harmon married model Deanna Eve in 2001, and they had one daughter, Samantha. However, the marriage was marked by infidelity rumors and substance abuse, leading to a painful divorce in 2010. His strained relationship with his daughter, whom he rarely sees, further darkened his later years. Struggling with alcoholism, Harmon faced several legal issues, including a public intoxication arrest in 2018. Now 61, he lives alone in a small apartment in Burbank, occasionally making convention appearances. His estimated net worth has dwindled to around $100,000, mostly from past royalties and sporadic work. Once a rising star, Harmon now lives a quiet, regret-filled existence, haunted by what might have been. Jack Wagner, who portrayed Dominic Marone on The Bold and the Beautiful, joined the show at 44 in 2003, portraying a brooding, ambitious man entangled in love triangles and business feuds. Wagner's portrayal resonated with viewers, but his life off-screen was even more dramatic. Known for his romantic relationships, Wagner was married to soap actress Christina Wagner from 1993 to 2006. They had 2 sons, Harrison and Peter. The couple's marriage suffered due to Jack's constant work and long absences, leading to emotional distance and eventual divorce. Tragically, their younger son, Harrison, struggled with addiction and passed away from an overdose in 2022, a heartbreak that nearly destroyed Wagner. He later became engaged to actress Heather Locklear, but their engagement ended amid publicized fights and personal challenges. Career-wise, Wagner faced diminishing roles and was forced to take reality TV gigs to stay afloat. Now 65, he lives a quieter life in Santa Monica, battling bouts of depression and guilt over his son's death. His estimated net worth is around $1.5 million, mostly from past acting work, but his focus has shifted to mental health advocacy in honor of his son. Adrienne France, who played Ambrosia Moore, a rebellious young woman caught between love and scandal, joined The Bold and the Beautiful in 1997 at just 25 years old. Her performance earned critical praise, but her career after the show faltered as she struggled to find roles that matched her talent. She married fellow actor Scott Bailey in 2011, and the couple had 2 children, Ava and Oliver. Although they projected happiness on social media, behind the scenes their marriage was strained by financial troubles and Adrienne's ongoing health battles, including endometriosis and anxiety. She briefly turned to music, but her album was never released due to label issues and lack of funding. After a miscarriage in 2015 and a near divorce in 2018, Adrienne withdrew from the public eye and focused on raising her children. Now 52, she lives in Nashville, Tennessee, in a modest home, occasionally taking voiceover gigs and convention appearances to supplement her income. Once seen as a rising soap star, France now struggles with chronic pain, emotional fatigue, and a longing for the career she never fully had. Her current net worth is estimated at around $200,000. Annika Noel, who played Hope Logan, a sweet yet emotionally torn character constantly navigating love, betrayal, and motherhood, was just 22 when she stepped into the role in 2018. Her portrayal won over fans, but Noel's off-screen life has been marked by deep personal loss and emotional instability. At the height of her popularity, she suffered a devastating miscarriage that she kept private for years. This event affected her deeply and led to the end of her engagement to longtime partner Zach Riggins. Although they tried to reconcile, the relationship officially ended in 2021. She remains unmarried and has no children. Noel has spoken openly about her battles with depression and anxiety, which were exacerbated by online harassment and the pressures of public life. Professionally, she found herself typecast and struggled to transition beyond soap operas. Now 38, she lives alone in a modest condo in Los Angeles, focusing on mental health awareness and animal rescue efforts. Her income has declined significantly, and her current net worth is estimated at $150,000. Despite her youth, Noel carries the weight of personal tragedies that have left lasting emotional scars. Update. Thanks for your support. Which character from The Bold and the Beautiful is your favorite? How do you feel knowing that some of the cast members have passed away? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for your support.